Hello everybody, welcome to another update on the stock screener. Today we continue our talk with Goodfellow Inc., which I bought a little bit more. When you look at the long-term chart, it's in a rising trend. We have some problems here where they didn't make any money, but looks like things are getting better now. So currently the trend is still up, and I think this could keep on rising in the coming year. So there are things to consider here. We see that the president of Goodfellow has bought some shares in August, so that's a good sign if you have insider buying. So that's good. Now on the fundamental side, there are some negative points as well. So for example, bond yields have been rising. Since 2021, it's now at 3%. Typically, when bond yields rise, that's not good for the real estate market because mortgage rates go up and that leads to lower sales in housing. When you look at the US, it was at 6% and now it's back to 6%, while the 30-year bonds are now at 3%. So that's almost the same here for Canada, but it's a bit lower here. So I think that the mortgage rates in Canada should be around 5% now, 4 to 5%. So it's not as bad as in the US, but it could lead to some weakness in real estate. Okay. Lumber has been weak since 2022. Not sure where this will bottom out, but a lot of sales from Goodfellow come from lumber, but it's still higher than the historic average. Okay, so it hovered around here, and now we are still higher than that level. We need to see if this is going to bottom out. Typically, seasonality will be positive around this year. So from a seasonality perspective, this should bounce. So let's see if that happens. Currently, it isn't happening, but it looks like it's bottoming out. Also important to know is where are we in the cycle. So we are having a bear market right now. So probably you should be in healthcare, utilities, a bit in energy, but this is also starting to decline. So we are more here, I think, and going into a bottoming phase of financials and real estate. So I'm just a bit early. I think that real estate will start to bottom out maybe in the next few months when we see the bond yields start to top out. So how do we know when the bond yields will top out? I have this very nice tool, the bond forecaster index, and this will tell us when bond yields will top out. And this is the most important chart. That's the holy grail. When this Taylor rule rate starts to top out, then we have a top. And this has always worked. Each top came before the top in the bonds. Here as well. Here another top. And then bonds started to decline. Here another top and bonds started to decline. So if we see bonds bond yields start to decline, then this is typically good for real estate because that means that inflation is subsiding. Of course, this is a very big increase in the tail roll rate, so it could be that we have some spikes in bonds, but this will depend a lot on what Powell is going to do. But yeah, here is the second derivative, and we need to monitor this a lot. So if you see that this blue line goes negative, then bond yields are going to go down. For example, here, let's look. This was a point where bond yields would go down. Okay, this was a point where bond yields go up because it goes positive. See that? Here as well, negative, so bond yields started to come down. Same here, negative goes down, then up, goes down, up. So this is a very nice tool to forecast the bond yields. So we are going to wait for the Q3 numbers here. Let's see where this goes. Now on to Goodfellow again. So this company has, so this is the annual report of 2021. You can see that they have the most sales in Canada, 34 and 30%, Quebec, Ontario, Western Canada, and maybe 10% in the US. So what we need to look at is mostly Canada, okay? Canada and the lumber price, because most of it is lumber, okay? Now the market cap today is at 100 million CAD. Equity is higher than the market cap. And when you calculate the enterprise value, it's actually 0. So that's very good. Earnings are at 3.5 PE, which is a good buy, according to me. And price to book is almost half. So by next year or 2 years, we will go at 40% book value. Very good. So this is undervalued. And when you look at the earnings, you can see that it is correlated to the lumber price. So when lumber went up, you can also see that the earnings went up. But what was also very interesting is that it's more correlated to the Canada housing starts. I didn't look at this yet. So let's take a look at the period 2014 to 2022. That's this period here. You can see that it's very correlated. Went up, down, and then shoots up. So here, up, down, and then shoots up. So it's very correlated to this chart and less to the lumber price. Okay, it is correlated to lumber, but this is a higher correlation. And that's normal because most of the sales are in Canada. So we need to look at the housing starts. I think that the housing starts in Canada are in an uptrend, probably going this way. It could go down a bit due to the recession, due to higher mortgage rates, okay, but fundamentally this should go up. And why is that? Because of this. So the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corp, they said that Canada needs 3.5 million new homes by 2030. That's in 8 years. And this was a recent article, okay? So in 8 years, they need 3.5 million new homes. That's about 400,000 per year, okay? Currently, we are only at the 300,000 units per year. So we can actually rise quite a bit from here. So if this goes up, then it's very easy to see that the earnings will also go up. So this here, this margin that we see, they didn't have any margins here, but here you can see that margins are increasing if the housing start increase. So this is about, I think, 50% increase in the coming years. So this should also start increasing quite a lot. So that's fundamentally why I think this is going higher. And this is also part of the plan of the 10-year plan to invest 70 billion in housing. And this started in 2017. So this is going to keep on continuing until 2030. All of this money is now being put into the housing market, subsidized to get more units repaired and to create more homes. Okay, so this rise is being subsidized and it's going to continue to keep on rising. Also, this is also very positive. Tariffs on Canadian lumber going to United States has been halved from 18% to 9%. So, and they say that it is probably going to end later on. So they are trying to negotiate to end the tariffs. So this could also be very positive for sales. So this is also a recent article from September. So everything looks actually pretty good, except for the macro environment where mortgage rates are rising, but this is being subsidized. And that's why the earnings are rising. And it will rise for many years to come. So that's why I really like this idea. Fundamentally, it's also very nice. Below book value has earnings that will rise. So everything is looking good. And let's hope that this will be a positive investment instead of the negative stock picks that we recently had. So I will see you in the next video and bye.